down there. So I had two naked people on the roof, which I had to do the mod.
You are listening to the Rock Brothers Podcast.
Right now with the Rock Brothers Podcast.
And you are watching the Rock Brothers Podcast.
Rock Brothers Podcast.
Yeah, the Rock Brothers Podcast.
Brothers Podcast, that's right. We are with the Rock Brothers.
What's up, rockers? I'm Alejandro, and this is Rock Brothers Podcast. Tonight, we have a really nice episode. Behind the controls, we got the one and only Andres, a.k.a. El Grillo.
El Grillo.
And on my right side, Lou, the Dog Metal.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Chillin'. What's good, Rock Nation? This is your boy Lou Dog with the Rock Brothers Podcast.
Can you please explain me why the dog?
So,
I mean, because the other one, the Metal Machine, was really nice. I mean, the Lord of Metal is really nice, but the dog, Lou the dog.
I really like Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou.
Old School Lou.
you know what? Old School Lou was the
I wanna know.
that we kind of picked because I am the elder statesman of this group. But it was a funny story. When I first met my wife, she called me Lou Dog one day, and I was like, hey, I don't want to go with the dog. That's Snoop and all these other guys. I don't want to, jump on one of those names. But then she's the one that put me onto Sublime.
Right.
And
Now it reminds me it's black.
yeah, Louis Dog. Well, that's another story for another day. But Louis Dog was the dog, and I was like, yeah, I like it. So for now, this is actually my first jump off as Lou Dog, and want to do something a little different than we normally do because I'm not really much of a lyricist per se, but to kick off this new year of 2026, and for our first offering in our new studio with our first in-studio guest in our new digs, it goes a little something like this. There's a thunder sound from the wonders found. We got Dawn of the Underground with the Rock Brothers chilling in our town. And so with that, we've got with us media whirlwind extraordinaire, Dawn LeMay, aka Dawn of the Underground.
I'm actually speechless. I've never had anyone rap to me like that before. That is just
Nice.
first.
You see, that's Lou the dog.
Lou
Nice.
the dog. I am
Nice.
wow, and for me to be speechless, that's incredible. But yeah, thank you. This is absolutely an honor. You can't see how beautiful the studio is, but for me to be the very first guest, this is freaking cool.
Excellent. And we want to welcome you. And this was a long time coming for us because we just met this past year at Welcome to Rockville. And it was funny because, we were just talking right before you got here, and we were all walking up to the media area. We were about to do our very first on-site interview, which was, nerve-wracking in itself. And somebody comes behind us and says, all right, which one of us is going to get in trouble first? And I look back and it's you. And I'm like, well, usually I'm the candidate, but by the looks of you, I think it's going to be you because you did look like trouble. So right off the bat, we got an awesome vibe off of you and stuff. So we didn't really get a chance to talk at length during Rockville. We were just in and out doing our thing and stuff. Like I said, it was nerve-wracking. It was our first time kind of in that situation. But we did see you moving around the whole backstage and media area, and it seemed that you knew everybody, but more so, it seemed that everybody knew you. So if you could tell us a little something about what you were doing at that particular show, and then we can get into a little bit more of the different things you do within media.
At Rockville, I was pretty much just handling regular business. I tell people my job is to make them jealous of where I am. And so what you're doing is you're showing them where you're at, what's going on around you, and making sure that the next time they have an opportunity to experience something like that, they want to be there. So I am very, very blessed that I get to speak with all the rock stars, get their topics that they want spoken about out to a public. And so basically what I'm doing at Rockville is, oh my God, doing pictures of the stage, videos, going out, doing some crowd participation, and then backstage, I'm meeting with all the different artists and doing sound bites for the radio in addition to interviews. And since I've been there quite a while, I help out all the other podcasts and the interviews and help them arrange or maybe even create some additional banter.
Well, for us personally, for myself, especially personally, what I can speak to that is, number one, what brought us together is that we're fans, number one. And we just,
I think it's everybody working in a rock festival is fan.
yeah, absolutely. So, but
Even the artist.
Yeah.
going into it, and as nervous as I was personally, and we were, because it was, like I said, nerve-wracking, you know, talking to you kind of put us at ease. It put me at ease and stuff, and seeing that somebody that was like a mover and shaker, for all I knew, I didn't know who you were, but you were so welcoming to us that it really you know, made us feel better. And it kind of goes to what you were just saying, is that we want to bring that perspective to the fans. And it so much goes into, you know, a rock festival or even just a single rock show, whether it's a movie production, whether it's a rock show, you know, hip hop, whatever it is, a live event. So much goes into it that for us, we love that. We love to see what people do, how it all comes together, because at the end of the day, we're there for the band,
Right.
But a lot of it goes the road crew, lighting, media, you know, the
A lot of this was a dream written on a piece of paper or talked over coffee, and that's where it actually starts. People don't realize that it has to be a thought, some kind of inspirations that even starts this entire process. So, I mean, sometimes just talking back and forth like this, saying, hey, we want to do a documentary. That's how it starts. Then you create a crew. Then you create the people that you think are going to make this happen. Then you get everything, the infrastructure together before you, I mean, it's an incredible amount that has to happen. But they create the memories that, I mean, live in our heads forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we can all speak to how impactful those memories are, because, you know, we can definitely have vivid memories of our first live show. And not only that, I think music has the ability to transport you automatically to a day and time in your life. You know, it automatically pops up a memory, and, you know, that's the power of music.
I say it's a time machine. It's like sometimes smells and music are things that will literally take you back.
Smells,
to
I like that.
The very moment that you remember hearing that song and what you were doing. And it's almost like you're literally standing in the room watching yourself watch yourself in that moment. It's like when the next time that you have a song that really brings back a memory, just kind of focus on what's happening. And you can almost like look around the room that you're in. It's really, really impactful.
Excellent. So actually, let's do that. What was your first live show?
My first. What was my first?
You had such a good time, you can't remember.
Yeah. Here in USA was Rockville, 2022.
Oh, excellent. Grillo?
Man, the man from Spain.
Mana?
No, the Spain.
Please don't say Menudo. Might be the worst.
Those crazy guy with the fat guy on the trumpet.
Kenny G.
Escape. They are from Spain. They're
Nice.
fucking
Oh
good.
God, it's amazing.
They're crazy, yeah.
Here was Zach Wild.
Black Label.
Black Label's
Black
Society.
Label.
Wow.
Black Label.
Wow.
Headbreed and Anthrax.
Oh, Anthrax is awesome.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, that's where you guys got that poster
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, you got to sign by
Yeah, in
all
every
those
show we
guys.
have to get the t-shirt, the poster, coffee cups, and everything. We are fans.
Excellent.
Don't laugh. And maybe you'll remember who this is, but they won't. Sean Cassidy.
Nice. John Cassidy. That's awesome. Of TV fame and
Hardy
one of the biggest pop stars. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. I remember it well.
Yep,
Absolutely.
that was my first.
Excellent. So my first big arena show was Bon Jovi in the
Holy crap.
Slippery When Wet tour at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island.
Very nice.
Great show. It was my first exposure big time to rock. It was a whole nother world, and I was like engulfed immediately. The whole spectacle of it all, I was hooked from that moment on. And I was a fan early on. My uncle put me on to the Beatles and the Stones and Zeppelin and stuff, but actually seeing it live, and that's why I think that seeing a live show is much more impactful. It's something to listen to it on wax, and that's how, I'm dating myself by saying wax, but we're going to keep it old school. But when you hear it, on the radio, it's so much different from when it's live, and that's the true measure of a really good band is when they could bring it live. It's just a whole nother experience. So it seems that you go back to the Sean Cassidy days, and again we're dating ourselves. But, So how long have you been involved in the business? Because it's really the whole business of entertainment.
End has been about 20 years.
20 years.
Wow, that's awesome. And Alejandro, he plays guitar, and he's been in bands going back to his days in Venezuela. Oh, you see, he's missing it. You guys can't see it, but there's actually a tear going down his cheek right now.
Yeah. In those years, 20 years, what was the best or the most memory that you have working behind the scene with the bands, with all the artists?
I'm sure we can sit here for hours and tap your brain with all the stories.
One of my friends, I have a bowl of all the different passes, like the different stage passes and everything. He's like, you should just do a show, and each day just bring out one of the passes and talk about that show. It's literally a big green bowl. Oh my God. Let me see. I just got back from Hellfest in France. And going to another country is just another world. It's amazing. And this year I've been invited to go back to Europe 3 times. So I've got to figure out what I'm doing and how. Hellfest is phenomenal, just because the way that they do things. It's like they have open flames everywhere. Americans would. Are you allowed to cuss?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Americans would fuck with it.
Let the filth fly.
I mean, literally, it's where you can actually go up and you could touch it. You could. I mean, I'll show you pictures, but they have these huge fire pits where they have people little leather little thongs and stuff that are stoking the fire. I don't think you could really do that in America. People would mess with it. But here, it's gorgeous. And then I have quite a few memories that I work with a lot of the people in the industry, and they're friends of mine. So just to be able to have someone that feels comfortable with you, and you can just sit and watch karate movies and eat fried chicken, or and just those nights are just magical.
Excellent. And that kind of as soon as you said that, I'd see a lot of your posts on social media, and number one, I love the angles.
Yeah,
it's your flip flops and stuff, and it's like, this is a view from my office, and it could be any given location on any given day, and you're all over the place.
And I love it because when I first started, that was probably 15 years ago, and it was whatever I was seeing. It could have been backstage, it could have been in a hospital room. This is what I'm seeing. And now if you check on actually my page, you'll see other people posting views from their office all around the world.
Excellent. You started a trend.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I love that, and it speaks to how much you do get around. And so it seems that you work with a lot of festivals and stuff. Do you work with any bands directly? Have you ever done stuff with bands directly?
I have. I've been on tour with Gemini Syndrome, Anything But Human, and I've worked with some different arena tours where I basically chaos coordinate, which just makes sure that make sure everything goes smooth.
Excellent.
So it could be anything. But yeah, one of the best times was being on tour with Gemini. They're just an amazing group.
Excellent. So as I introed you, I build you as a media whirlwind, because it's not just in the world of music. There's one particular job that you did recently that I was very intrigued by the title alone. Got me curious. And
that's my favorite too.
And this is one that I definitely had to talk to you about. So you were working on a movie set.
Yes.
And you were the sexual consultant?
Intimacy coordinator.
Intimacy coordinator, yes.
Which is, I could be the sexual consultant.
See
too.
how I dirtied it up by,
Hey,
it's like the
it's
intimacy
okay.
coordinator. So tell us a little bit about that.
I've actually done that position on probably several different features, several different films. But basically, what it is I do it naturally, anyways. It's the advocate for the talent and also kind of the protection for the film crew, because I am the intermediary between the talent and the film crew, so that so that the talent is respected in their position. If they require any modesty apparel or anything like that, they're not completely nude. Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
But I mean, they either have pasties or what have you, and that they, more importantly, feel comfortable in doing whatever they're doing. So it's like the most recent one, I had some kissing scenes and stuff, and you had young people that were on the set that just needed to make sure that no boundaries were crossed. And it's as easy as opening communication. And you and I are old school, so you and I can just like talk back and forth and be like, okay, you cool with this? Cool. But unfortunately, nowadays you have to have someone that starts that conversation. So I'm the person who starts that conversation. It's like, make sure you guys are good. Where are your boundaries? What are you expected to do in the scene, so that when you get there, no one's pushing anything past any limits that you don't feel comfortable with, that you feel comfortable with whatever your adaptation that you want on the screen, and that the producer is comfortable with what he's asking of you, he or she is asking of you, and that they don't ask things in the last minute like, oh, by the way, it was supposed to be topless, it's now nude, it's this or that and the other. So basically, I'm a protection for both sides.
Excellent. And that speaks a lot to what we were talking about right before we actually started, is that people feel comfortable talking to you. The vibe that I got right off of you, we started conversation right off the bat and stuff like that. That's so important to do in that. And again, in bringing the behind the scenes and what goes into that, because I don't think people realize the finished product is a lovemaking scene, and it's passionate, and it's you know, or whatever it is, you know, it's a rough, it's whatever the scene is.
We had one scene where it was a husband and wife scene that it was supposed to be like makeup, where, you know, he puts her up on the counter, kisses her, and you know, the after you fought kind of scene. They just met. Okay?
Right, and that's the thing.
So it's kind of like, okay, how do you feel comfortable? And I'm just like, go outside. Figure it out.
Talk.
Come back.
Right.
Talk about it. Feel where you're comfortable with. Come back. The director's like, one take, done. Because we had the conversation.
And that's the thing that I think, you know, from the viewer's perspective, you don't see. It just, you see, like I said, the finished product. It's got to be hard for an actor, depending on how much of that you've done. You know, seasoned pros have done, you know, love scenes, you know, over and over. But if you're newer to that, you have a whole crew in front of you, you know, and it doesn't matter how gorgeous you are, but people have, you know, things about their bodies.
Actually,
and stuff.
When you have the intimate scenes, it's a lot of times it's a closed set, so it's normally just me, the camera, and the producer. So
that's good to know as well.
When it comes into something intimate, because it is something that's very personal, like we were talking about earlier, being raw and vulnerable, that's not for public consumption on the set. So that's more normally on the closed end of thing.
And then if you're lucky, millions of people get to see the finished product.
Oh, dude, the things that I've seen just literally blow my mind. I've literally seen naked people walk off of a roof. And if you've never seen that before, which most people have not, there was one 10-floor building, and I'm not going to give away any trade secrets because it's not out yet, but it's a 10-floor building with a 9th floor that has like the HVAC access and everything like that. So it could look like you were walking off, but you weren't. You were only going one flight down, and then you had all of the Home Depot boxes that were built up so that the stunt double could go down there. So I had two naked people on the roof, which I had to do the modesty garments, which is a trick. It's a really trip on that. But then you actually see someone just completely like 1, 2, 3, and then just drop out of your sight. And your mind cannot take that. you see it, but you're like, so literally, I'm probably one of the only people in the world that's actually seen that. But it was just me, the director, and the actresses. That's it.
That's excellent. And
I'll show you the scene later.
yeah.
It's on a Sizzler reel.
all right,
I know it's pretty
excellent.
good, actually.
See, that's the kind of cool things we get to be privy to when we do work behind the scenes with the likes of a Don LeMay. So, getting back to music.
What concert or festival are you going to be working this year?
I don't.
Or
know.
how many? Because
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't put in for a festival in several years. They normally come to me and ask me to come, which is great. Probably Rockville. There's a very high chance of me being at Moto Culture, which is in France, of which I'm probably butchering the name, but I'll get over there. I'll be just fine. Possibility I've gotten invited to Download. And then I'm hoping to go
Download is awesome.
to Hellfest again because, like I said, when I went like 7 years ago, I was the only American there, and it was funny because I literally was walking across to the Ferris wheel because I went and did an entire broadcast from the Ferris wheel at sunset and across all the flames that I was telling you about, and someone's like, American. And I said, how? How do you know? They're like, American. All right, I'll take it.
Absolutely. We do have a look about it.
Yeah.
And stuff
We do.
And a swagger, if I may, but that's so cool. That kind of brings up a good point that you've been out internationally and abroad. How cool is it when you're in a country that English is not the predominant language, but as soon as that band starts playing, everybody in unison is word for word singing the song back?
It is beautiful. It is absolutely an amazing experience. And I was just showing one of my friends last night a video because in the quad of Hellfest is where like all the stores and everything are. Can't make this up. I do have the video. There was a guy dressed as Batman with like the little leather shorts and everything singing I Bless the Rains Down in Africa. Most of these people cannot speak English. Okay, but they were really trying to work with the words, and it was one of the hottest days I've ever seen, and people were squirting squirt guns in the air and letting the rain fall down, and it was just such an epic moment to watch these people in like cages up here, leather, just singing very poorly Toto.
That's excellent. And,
But it was
it's
great.
huge, and it's huge crowds, I'm sure.
Oh my God, it was packed.
So Alejandro was fortunate enough this past year to go down to Argentina, right? Argentina.
yeah,
Oh, beautiful.
We did a giveaway for System of a
two
Down.
tickets for System. of
So,
Down.
two of our-
Actually, I got the poster over there.
Nice.
So two of our fans.
No, not you, not you, not you.
He just lights up when you point to him.
So two of our lucky fans were lucky enough to win those 2 tickets and went down there. And Alejandro went down there, and the video that he came back with was
Was
nuts.
awesome. I mean,
Oh, fantastic.
I mean, I have been in Rockville like 4 or 5 times, and a bunch of other concert, around Tampa, here in Orlando. But the people outside from USA, it's
Oh, they're
crazy.
insane.
It's freaking
It's-
crazy. They never stop. They never quiet.
They party till 4 a.m. and then actually a lot later than 4 a.m.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
And
It's-
the whole concert, all the Argentina people was just jumping around.
oh yeah.
What the? I mean, that's crazy.
Oh, it's
You will
it's
never
amazing.
seen.
You don't see that here.
No, never.
Sunrise is coming up and they're still going.
The thing is, they are very special, maybe?
They're very passionate.
passionate, yes.
Yeah, and that-
Everything show.
Yes.
Nah, never.
And not to say that we are jaded here in the United States, but most
just
of these big bands come from here and they tour often here.
Well,
Not all
the-
bands go to different parts of the world, and when they do get there, I mean, you get to see System of a Down in the flesh, Metallica in the flesh, and that's rare, And when they get those opportunities, it's got to be crazy.
The last time when I saw that here in USA was in Woodstock 99.
No.
Was crazy. Woodstock was.
Oh, I
freaking
bet.
crazy.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, it was It was I just missed that one by a hair. It was just I couldn't get the time off of work. We had the tickets. It was it's a sore subject, but you know, with that, it's just nice to see. And what brought us together for us, the Rock Brothers, which actually are siblings. I'm more like a creepy old uncle.
Oh God, what's that make me?
You're the crazy cousin.
Hey, that works. That works.
But with that you know, the love of music and talking about that kind of stuff and the different perspective that they brought to me, and some of the quality music that's outside of the country, which I really wasn't privy to. A lot of them, especially metal, that's in South America, especially. You know, Mexico is probably the biggest scene for rock and metal in Latin America. But you know, Brazil, you know, Sepultura is huge, and there's a lot of good acts. And we've done some interviews with some of the bands from down there, and it's good stuff. And these guys brought that perspective. Tell us about a couple of the, you know, a couple of the bands that we talked to from down there.
Quasar from Paraguay.
From Paraguay, great.
That one.
Fallen Fortress.
Fallen Fortress from Chile.
From Chile, yeah.
Without Sun
Without the Sun, Chile.
from Chile, and all those bands sing in English.
Dude, we need to talk because I've got a radio show as well. So what I do is, I was telling him, I do a lot of first spins, and so I have takeovers all the time. And so I'm about to have a French takeover. I'm about to have a UK takeover. Some of the most amazing bands are Mexican and South American, and I found that out because next week I'll be helping. I'll be actually on the crew for 70,000 Tons of Metal. And so you have like 74 different countries, but the support of the
that's a cruise, correct?
Yes, yeah, it's the world's largest floating cruise. It's the world's largest floating stage. They pride themselves on this. When you see the pool deck of a regular cruise, they take approximately 16 hours and convert that into a full working venue. And you have the stage, and the plywood goes down, and you have a full arena, and then every single place that you can have music on that stage. On that boat, there's music from about 10 a.m. until about 4 a.m.
Wow.
International karaoke.
Wow,
It's a
awesome.
pure utopia.
That's awesome. So we definitely had to talk about, because I wanted to bring that up to not only talk about one of your other many projects, but I'm sorry, you were going to say?
Do you see the band from Chile? Her singer. She's a Miss Chile, Miss World, Miss.
Oh wow!
That's incredible.
Oh yeah, that was, she just won Miss World, and for her talent,
Ignacia Fernandez.
Fernandez.
I think I did see something about that. Yeah.
So for her talent, she
sang.
death metal,
Yes.
and
That
Yes.
was
the sound that came out of this, you know, petite, you know, beauty pageant girl was like, it was crazy.
That is
and I'm
crazy.
sure she blew that world, because they were not expecting anything like
nah.
that, especially that sound that came out of her. Another great band that we talked to was, I don't want to butcher their name, Aunema
Neuma from Spain.
From Spain.
Actually, they play in Hellfest.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, a couple of times, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Couple
so that they were awesome. So that leads me to what I was going to talk about next, and
Okay,
your show. It's a weekly radio show on several different social media platforms. Dawn of the Underground. So tell us a little bit about
Okay,
Okay,
I
underground.
have a radio show every Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA, and that is hosted on Rock Rage Radio. And then the radio station that I work with in France is All Rock Radio. And then over time, I've helped co-host on I don't even know how many different podcasts and everything, just because I like to talk.
Excellent. As we do as well, and that's why again, knowing that and the first spins and stuff like that, like one of our missions here as a podcast of what we're doing and what these guys did for me is that we want to expose our fans, we want to expose the US audience, we want to expose the international audience and sort of intermingle and bring it all together. So, I think that that's going to be excellent pairing for us, and we're going to be able to, introduce and send you some stuff from some of these
amazing.
guys.
I believe that you're so much stronger together, and the more that you open your mind to just this huge world that's out there, it just breaks down so many barriers.
And that's one of the beautiful things I think about music in general. It's such a close-knit community. In talking to bands and performers and stuff, the camaraderie is so next level, where you think it's super competitive. It's unlike the business world where it's dog eat dog and it's every man for himself and there's step all over your back, to get ahead. Whereas, you see some of these bands when they play festivals and they're lucky enough to go to another country and play, they'll roadie for you. They'll help you with wardrobe, whatever it is that they can do. They help each other, and that's one of the great things that again drew us to music and why it's such a great community, because it's so welcoming and there's such a great camaraderie about that. And at the levels that you've been doing it and seeing it from different perspectives and different jobs and behind the scenes, you must have so much perspective on that. I mean, we could talk for hours, and this is only episode 1 of the Dawn of the Underground. But and we really would love to talk a little bit more at length about all kinds of stuff, because again, it's one of our biggest goals is to bring the fans to that perspective. Because I mean, going back to dating us, we grew up with where MTV was that source, and I could remember vividly on Saturday nights before we went out or before we did anything, or even before I was old enough to really go out like that.
Right.
We were hanging out, watching at 11 o'clock Headbangers Ball with Ricky Rocket, seeing what band was going to be on there and what interviews they were going to do and what crazy stuff they were going to do, because some of that stuff was on set, some of this stuff was behind the scenes and from the concerts themselves, and then of course the videos. And that's something that I think is missing right now, because the social media age has changed things around so much that it's information right there fast. If you don't catch somebody, what we were talking about that the other day, Dio. What is the time?
15 seconds.
Yeah, if they don't catch you,
Now it's around 3-5 seconds.
so if
If you don't catch someone, it's gone. Yeah.
and then you're flipping to the next video and stuff. So you really have to capture somebody in that time, which seems a little bit crazy. What can you do in 3 seconds to get somebody's attention? And it has to be something almost outrageous. That's why stupid cat videos are so popular, because a cat walking down the shopping with a shopping cart, that's funny as hell. But
I've watched them.
It's crazy that you have to capture somebody's attention so quick, whereas you sat there through commercials and there was premieres that you waited on Friday night at 8 o'clock. Michael Jackson's video was going to premiere, and everybody sat there and tuned in for that.
Well, it's like you and I grew up in the age where to be still was okay. You didn't need to be constantly entertained. You could go and play with a rock, or you could go play in dirt, or you could have a little teeny toy, or whatever. It didn't take a lot to entertain us. That's why it's like I can stay for long periods of time if I'm on tour. I'm like, I'm good. I got 2 hours. I'm good. I can occupy myself. I like being with myself. But the newer generation, I'm not trying to call anyone out, they don't want to be introspective. They don't want that alone time, because then it's just like they need to be constantly distracted.
Yeah, don't let the internet go down, because they don't know what to do with themselves. And like just this, what we're doing right now, that's a lost art. Like people don't sit down and talk. People
love talking to strangers.
People don't visit and stuff. And that's one of the things that these guys kind of brought out of me, is that you're a talker. And I'm like, am I? I guess I am.
Yeah.
You know, and it's great connecting with people from all walks of life. You know, I worked for a big retail for a long time, and to your point with Hellfest, no, not Hellfest, the cruise.
70,000 tons.
70,000 tons. At one point, we had a store meeting, and it was Central Florida. It was the number one store in the company, and we had for a store meeting, you know, we brought up the idea of doing. Everybody could represent their country, bring in their flags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We had 28 countries represented in that one
I
store.
love that.
28 countries, and it was from all over Europe, Eastern Europe. I mean, to start rattling off, it was crazy. All over, you know, Latin America, Europe, the different parts of the States. It was quite awesome, and you know, music again brings people together.
Yeah.
It's a huge community, but it can seem intimate at the time, because when you're vibing to the same song and you're singing, my son Logan, he's a huge Queen fan, and as we were watching one of the kids got great taste. What can I say? One of the things that really impressed us both is when Freddie Mercury was talking about their first show, which was at the time, I think, their biggest show in Brazil, and which again, they speak Portuguese. And when they started singing and the crowd was giving it to them word for word back, he said that was one of the biggest moments of his career, because they just didn't expect that.
Right.
First of all, the size of the crowd, and then the fact that they were singing their song right back to them.
Right.
That's gotta be amazing. And that's why I think we have such a respect for artists, because it takes a certain amount of balls to get up there in front of 5 people, let alone 70,000 people.
Oh my God. Like we were talking about earlier, it's like, it's the most intimate and raw you can possibly be. You're standing in front of 100,000 of your newest friends, but they're very critical. I mean, your song means something different to each individual person, and you're trying to hit that for everyone.
Yep. You're
trying to be their God. It's just like, I worked with Lemmy a long time ago, and it's like everyone still sees him as a god, you know, and that's pretty hard to live with.
It is, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're a regular person, right? You're somebody's dad, you're somebody's husband,
but you're not that when you're on stage. You're something much bigger to someone else.
And for those bands, you know, that are so few of the super groups, that's gotta be like so crazy for them, because it almost seems like out of body when, you know, we were talking earlier off camera, that, you know, some certain artists are very shy and introspective and stuff, but when they get on stage, it's like they take on a whole different persona. Correct. And you know, that's again one of the beauties of music, that they can, you know, transform themselves. But in saying all that, I want you to really let our fans know and where they can find your weekly show. So again, it's Mondays at 6 p.m.
Yes, it's Monday nights
Eastern
at 6
Standard
p.m.
Time.
Eastern Standard Time, USA. And you can find it many, many different ways. You can either go to www.rockrageradio.com.
rockrageradio.com.
Or streaming everywhere. Or you can just go ahead and ask your favorite AI listening device to listen to Rock Rage Radio. And they're listening anyways. Might as well listen to something cool.
Excellent. Because again, you bring a different perspective to stuff. You have so many amazing stories, and we can, you know, talk for hours, and we're gonna talk
and
for
we're
hours.
Gonna do it.
You know, we're gonna do some really good collabs in the near future, because, you know, again, the community, the camaraderie is what we love. It's what brought us together as fans, as we started this thing, and these guys were gracious enough to make me part of it, and super appreciative of the opportunity for it. So it was such a great chance meeting, because we met so many different people at that particular show, but
there's no accidents.
This is what stuck. This was what stuck, and this was awesome. So thank you so much for spending some time with us. It was an honor for us to have you as the first guest
Thank
in our
you.
new digs.
In
Oh my
our
God! Look
new
around this place. Oh my
studio.
God!
So we're actually gonna.
Yeah, the next one could be in any festival. We can do a podcast over there. I'm pretty sure everybody will
We can do
watching us.
anything.
Yeah.
Well,
Sky's the
that's if
limit.
she has time for us, because I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
that's
if
another.
you would have seen her in action, everybody wanted a piece of this lady. I mean, it was crazy. But what was so cool is that when we saw each other, she would give us a shout out, even if it was from far away. What's up, guys? And we're like, yeah.
You make time for what's important.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Thank you.
important.
Thank you. That's so kind and gracious. And again, thank you for sharing, the stories. And again, we're going to have the opportunity to speak a little bit more at length. And this was so fun for us.
Well, you can actually help me because I've been trying to write a book. Well, I am going to write a book because
I thought you were going to say you needed a model because,
I can do that too. But every time I go to start, it's like when we talk like this to pull out the stories, easy. Just one after another. I could seriously write the book in less than a month. Just story after story after story. But when you're trying to remember it, you can't pull it out until someone says something. You're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. So if we could tell stories back and forth, we can go ahead and write that book, co-write it together, and be done in a month.
Excellent.
I already have the
Excellent. I would love
I already
to do
have the
that
publisher.
because, as the elder statesman of the group, I've stated that before. I've got a few years on these guys, and the fact that I did grow up in the New York metropolitan area, I was privy to some great shows, and all the big bands, they definitely come through there. And one of the awesome things is that they play some of the smaller venues surprise shows. There were places like the Ritz, L'Amour's in Brooklyn, and they would play 3 songs and they would show up, randomly and stuff. And
They still do.
when these guys, heard about some of the places that I was lucky enough to go, and some of the bands that I was able to see, it was pretty awesome. So when we started talking, like you said, I had forgotten some of this stuff because it's so long ago.
Right, but when you start bantering back and forth,
And it-
what we
and
need to
it-
do is have the audio rolling, and then we can go ahead and transcribe it back. We'll be done.
All right. A book coming at you
There
pretty
we go.
soon. A book that will be adapted. I don't know.
Whatever that word.
Yeah, whatever it is, adapted. We'll make up words as we go.
Absolutely.
But the movie will be shortly following.
And we could do the movie. We could do the movie too.
We have an intimacy. We have an intimacy coordinator with us, so she knows all the behind the
Oh
scenes
my God,
stuff.
I've done
And
special effects, makeup, production. I've created my own documentary.
So look, we don't even have to hire.
And you could be the actor,
Yeah,
We've got everything we
That's
need.
it. We have the whole thing here. So again, thank you. We
Absolutely.
have
Thank you.
with us Dawn LeMay, Dawn of the Underground. Again, you can catch her a weekly radio show at 6 p.m. on Mondays on Rock Rage Radio, www.Rock Rage Radio. For you guys, subscribe, like. If you like this, we're doing this big time in 2026. We're going to expand our portfolio in what we do with interviews. We're going to have a lot of behind the scenes. We're going to do local shows. So there's a lot of good stuff that's coming for 2026 from the Rock Brothers podcast and the Rock Brothers Studios.
And then all of my interviews that I've been doing in France and also in Louder Than Life were being transcribed into French on All Rock Radio. And so that's in France. And he just got a terrestrial station.
Excellent.
That's pretty cool. So if you want to hear me in French,
Absolutely. We.
we. And we are the Rock Brothers podcast. Done.
You are listening to the Rock Brothers Podcast.
Right now with the Rock Brothers Podcast.
You are watching the Rock Brothers Podcast.
Rock Brothers Podcast.
The Rock Brothers Podcast.
Brothers Podcast. That's right. We are with the Rock Brothers.